But what matters now is how we react.
Welcome to another episode of the Critics Collective. I'm the Dad Panther with Manny, and we're here with Maite, and we're going to talk about 40 acres, not 40 acres and a mule. That's a different conversation for the day. But in this unpopular opinion, we're going to go ahead and spend some time spoiling it. So if you have not seen 40 Acres, it came out in 2024, small release, I believe, like kind of film festivals in Canada. We're going to talk about it here today. It's going to make its push for 2025, especially after Sinners came out, and we got a chance to see it sooner than some other people. So for this movie, it's rated R. It's some crazy. So again, if we say something that might be trigger warning or offensive or anything, like, we're just trying to give real reviews. We're just trying to, we don't like to, I just sugarcoat anything. So with that being said, we're going to start with the beginning of the movie. Okay. The start of the movie. Manny, anything that grabs your attention, anything you want to talk about how this movie 40 Acres starts off?
So, with the start of the film, after they explain everything, how the apocalypse happened, it's just how they introduce the family, like they're a total badass. But then I already knew after they introduced this one character by the name of Manny, just by him hesitating on killing somebody, I was like, you know what? He gonna fuck it up for everybody. This kid gonna fuck it up for everybody. Just from that one scene, I already knew, like, he couldn't double tap, and from there it just went downhill for Manny.
Okay, now Manny's gonna have his own, part of the show. So there's plenty of room, plenty of space for Manny. Was there anything for any of you guys? Was there anything in the beginning, the way this opened up, that I guess set the scene for, I guess, how this movie was gonna be?
I mean, I
It,
kind of agree with Manny how, like, when you said it in the spoiler-free review we did,
Mhm.
that, like, you wish you got a little bit more of how this part came to be, like, how it got to the post, about the disease and what happened to the world and how the resources, like how the farmland was important. I agree we could have gone, just even if it was like a wide shot, like of like, like panning out to like maybe the outskirts so we can
Mhm.
see, because they do mention how people are starving, nobody has food, but they have, farmland, they have crops.
Mhm.
So I feel like even if they showed us how people are struggling,
Mhm.
they could have showed a little bit more. So I agree with that, what you said.
yeah, there was not really an explanation. They said it was like a fungal infection that was affecting the plants and everything, but there's like trees everywhere growing. Like at least they could have provided an explanation. Is it affecting like crops directly, fruits, vegetables, stuff like that that people are eating, and what causes it? Or like Monte said, like a wide view showing like what's like things, if things are rotting or like the fungal is infecting it, or how that family managed to able to grow crop, something, some type of explanation to show how they managed to grow stuff and how they stopped the fungal from spreading on their farm. But there was nothing. So it was just it happened, and these people are able to grow crops, and that was it.
No, I agree. I did want something. I'm not saying it was gonna be like a visual thing that we see in movies. Like, I'm thinking right now, Black Panther, or certain Marvel movies where they do a CG and it's like it shows you like over the last 4 episodes or whatever the case is, it'll do this, visual and CG that kind of tells you what's happening, or some movies where they kind of make it where it's a bunch of scenes from different actors doing stuff that's not really important, but it pushes the story. Or the more common, someone's going to talk over it or talk through the screen to you. Like, why we can't go outside? We can't go outside because, and they just start telling you what's happening. Like, was it I don't think it was Don't Speak. Where's the one where you couldn't make a sound? They did one or two,
Um,
one in the big city. It's the dude from The Office. Was he the guy from, yeah,
A
with him and
Quiet
his wife?
Place.
Quiet
Yes.
place.
Yes,
I
there you
literally
go.
had this same, like, issue earlier. Like, what movie was that? Was it? I couldn't think of
See,
it
that's why I
earlier.
love you guys. See, so The Quiet Place, like they do a really good job in that movie, especially the first one, telling you what the setting is without having to do a recap. They just almost like they're talking to their kid. You're their kid, and they're explaining why you can't do X, Y, Z until you can figure out what's going on. And yeah, that would have been pretty cool to kind of get that, because what I picked up was the virus or whatever happened, the fungus. It made it where all animals were dead, so there's no animals anywhere. Which I believe, I let me know if I'm wrong. I don't think we saw any animals once they kind of hinted to that. So that's why later on in the movie, where the dad looks up in the fence and he's like, "Oh my God, I'm witnessing a miracle," because he's seen
Oh
animals,
yeah.
he's heard of them, like the books, everything's been passed down. Um, there's a book called Parable of the Sower. Um, it's a really good book that kind of goes in that same tone if you like stuff like that. But you can be so far away from the events that got you where you're at, where you don't really know why we're doing what we're doing. We just know this is the world we live in. So that's what I was thinking. I just think that all the animals are gone. Because all the animals are gone, the only thing you have is farmland. And if you can't grow farmland, and then you have other resources that aren't there, it's not as easy as just making vegetables pop up. And then if that is the case, then the farmland is what's going to be the hot spot to go to, because you don't have food. So that's why I picked up from the beginning and the setting that they put in there. But Martha, you mentioned in the review family. What was interesting about the dynamics of the family in this?
I feel like there were so many layers, like you said earlier, to the movie, and there's so many layers to just the family dynamic that you can literally break it down by each character had a role that they played in. Like even, the mom had her role as the protector role. The dad had his role as kind of more of a nurturing role. And I feel like it's interesting that they did that too, because it's usually reversed, that the mother is more nurturing and the father is more of the protective provider.
Mhm.
Um, and it was reversed. So I like that. The mom, like you guys said, she was standing on business. She was the glue of the family. Like she literally like demanded the respect. She molded them, trained them. So she had her layers. The dad had his layers and still, you know, training them in different ways. And even how you guys said that Manny was underdeveloped, and I feel like a little bit of the past when they were showing like him with the grandfather and like how he was like with the family and then she was at war and came back, kind of abandoned him. Like his underdevelopment, I feel like was shown because of the lack of love he probably had as a child from his mom, or that lack of time he had with her. So I feel like his underdevelopment was because of that reason, because even the daughter, the eldest daughter, she wasn't shown as much as Manny, in my opinion. But even her, the moment she had, it still held weight. And I feel like it showed her role too and her value. So I feel like, I don't know what happened, but I feel like I really liked her role in that too. And then there's still two other girls where they still had their roles, still being younger in the group. And and then just how they all worked together and had their dynamic, but it's like they still were isolated from everybody, but they still kind of held their dynamic together regardless. So
Now I think with Manny, his character, it was mostly about his development. It was like, if you look at it in a, like, you in the position of the apocalypse, right?
mm-hmm.
You you know things are bad out there, and it's like every decision he made, like even the mom said, every decision he was making was for himself. Now,
Yeah.
knowing that you might be getting set up, he
Mm-hmm.
still went along with it, knowing that he shouldn't have, like when he brought that girl to the farm, knowing
Mm-hmm.
that his mom might kill the girl, he still brought her there. Like somebody just show up. Like imagine you're at home and nobody know where you live, and somebody just randomly show up at your house,
Yeah.
and you just gonna let
Even
them in.
even a little bit of the stuff that she was saying, like he's like, "How'd you follow me? How'd you know I was here?" And
Yeah, and
his
he
stuff,
had the answers too. That's yeah.
yeah. And like even him, like he was really the, I mean, I wouldn't say the cause of everything because then people were still out and about, the villains, but I feel like he could have prevented a lot, like even with the hole in the fence. And she was like, "We're gonna talk about this."
Yeah, like
Ben said something because didn't them people? Well, I don't know if they came in through there, through the hole.
no, I think I don't even know how they came in.
Welcome back.
Hold on, wait. I gotta keep it real. So if you go back, if you're the viewer, you go back and you're like, hey, if you watch me, you're watching me process shit. Because I don't know if it's the vibe of this movie, but the vibe of this movie and my Echo and Ring security stuff started going off. It was
Oh
like
my gosh.
someone's in the garage. And so I'm looking at the camera and I could see some move towards the front door. I'm like, there's nobody here but me. And I can't say it for like legal, reasons, but I was like, let me go check. So I just went through 40 acres over here, and I just
Oh
cleared
my
the fuck
God.
out of this house. So
You had a real life experience.
I'm not going to show no thing. But I'm just saying. But I'm back. We're good. But if you just happen to see me take off again, y'all might be getting a movie back here. I don't know.
We're gonna see flashes and you it's
But
gonna go pitch black.
I hope it works out like the movie did. I tell you that much. Because if I'm sitting over here and y'all like gonna go viral for the wrong reasons, I'm just saying. So what I miss about the family part, like I heard towards the end, like
I'll
Manny was
bring it
talking
back
about,
and then
yeah.
maybe it'll refresh people. So do you remember the last thing you heard before you went away?
No, but I heard majority of it because as I was going to the house, as I was searching the house, I had one ear open and I was sitting there clearing. I was like,
no, you were hyper focused.
I was focused.
So I was just saying like the layers, how everybody had their role, and I was saying how Manny is a little bit him being underdeveloped kind of made sense for his lack of time with his mom. But I was saying how even like the eldest daughter, she held weight in her actions and how she portrayed herself. So and they all had, even the two other daughters that were younger, but they still had their roles, and they had their strengths, and then they had again like their weaknesses too. And also like how the mom demanded respect, and how like again she was like the glue of the family. And I don't know, I might have said something else. Manny said something too about Manny.
No, I would like give her like a parallel. Like if you were in the situation where the mom, somebody is like instilling it into you how you should live during the apocalypse, and just Manny was just making the wrong decision back to back, back to back. And even when he brought the girl to the farm, and Monte brought up how she said how she got to the farm, and he even questioned it, but still went on because he thought she was the baddest chick he ever seen.
The only chick he ever seen, probably.
Yeah, and he just kept along with it, knowing that possibly that he was going to get set up. But he still went along with it. And Monte brought up the fact that he cut the fence, like he cut the fence open, turned off, like, yo, my guy.
You're the reason for this, to be honest.
And even when the mom, she said, we're gonna talk about this, like I feel like her being like her role as a mom was so real. Like, okay, like I feel like she was talking to me. I was like, damn, like, am I in trouble too? Like, we didn't tell her about the fence. Like, we're in the audience, like, we knew about the fence, and we're like, yeah, y'all could have. Yeah.
I think that's great that you're saying that, like to dabble in one of the other topics, which was the dinner table. Where I watched that, there's a scene at the dinner table where they're having dinner. The little girl doesn't want any, and she like takes her plate, like, well, then you're just not gonna eat. And then the dad's like, you can see he's the calm, he's the peace. He's like, but at the same time, I respect what she says. Like he didn't jump in. It was like, if that's what your mom says, that's what I'm gonna back. I'm gonna look at her and be like softer, but that's it. And Manny made a joke. Mind you, they just got like an issue. Like one of the sisters, like they just went through some and Manny does a joke. Like I got what the joke was, but I was like, that's just not funny. It's not the place, man. There was people, I'm assuming Manny's age. I'm sure Manny's sick of hearing negative shit about his name being done, right? But there's people that were Manny's age that were in there and they laughed out loud with Manny on screen. And I'm like, oh, I think it's like an age thing. Like they get the joke, like they're just like, whatever. And she was like, you think this funny? You think this is funny? And people are like in the theater, like, oh shit. And they stopped. And then you can hear people like the adults saying, see, I told you that wasn't funny. I told you that. And it was just, that's the tone that she carried on screen, that it was like, she was your mom and she was going to put you in your place. So even the scene, like you're saying with Manny, where they're playing the song, I don't know why the song wasn't, I'm sprung, known to get me. Got me. I would have been rolling in
I'm
the
not
theater.
gonna lie, that song made me question the time period. I'm like, what
Yes.
time period are
Yes.
we in? Is this now? I'm like, is this 2 years later? I
He's
don't
got
know.
a Sony Walkman and he's listening to a song that came out probably not even 5 years ago, Afrobeat song. And I'm like, how is it an Afrobeat song? Which I love the song. I was in the theater just moving. Like, why is that here? Yes, I thought the same thing. It made me like question, what's the time that we're in? I don't understand where we're at. So I don't know. But yeah, Manny kept making some very questionable choices. Whether it's releasing her, get on the bike, let's go. Even after he finds out that, yeah, she played him. She fucking played him. And he was like, and he made another bad choice. But after, it's like,
he could have told his mom and got involved so many times. And I feel like it could have been dealt with so many in much better ways than he handled it. Like, I feel like he could have just listened to his mom and let her handle it. They would have been okay. I mean,
I was so mad at that guy. I was so mad at that guy because I'm sitting there watching like all these lives that were affected, that could have been affected in even a much greater way because of this mother. Just because of, like, you kidnap this girl and then you're gonna, I don't understand, you're gonna make a relationship with her. Like that's what we're showing.
I do have a
What,
question that you said that. Do you guys agree that the mom, you know, when she was talking to Augusta, she's like, you don't know me. When she's like, kind of like, oh, you can help them with certain stuff, you know, trying to have her like help more of with people.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just like, nah, fuck. Even when she talked, I think Manny was like, why don't we help? You know, we have extra food. And she's like, fuck them people.
Mm-hmm. Like,
do you guys agree that maybe with the mom or with Manny?
Manny.
Like, what do you?
Manny. Well, I want to ask. No, I don't agree with Manny. I'm asking Manny. Who do you agree?
I agree with the mom. Because
so do I.
If you watch any apocalypse movie, every time shit is going good, when you have your little group together and an outside influence come in, shit goes bad.
Yep. Dawn of the Dead, Walking Dead, like every
it's
time.
That one person that get curious and want to go explore the outside world and try new things.
Cornbread want to go take a piss, fuck it all up.
Trying to, refresh myself. Guess what? How did things go bad? These two little motherfuckers, they decided to leave the compound, go play around, and shit got bad. Every time somebody makes a stupid decision, like if we in a group, we're in an apocalypse, and somebody decide to be a selfish individual in the group, you're on your own, man. You might as well just go. Because you can't be part of the group no more. You can't be a selfish individual in the group. And you bring an outside entity like...
I would have liked it better if he would have rebelled and try to go to the other farm to chase the girl, and then the mom would have had to like save him. Like he was there the whole time, got caught up, and then had to like, oh, you see, you shouldn't have been messing around. Like if he came back to his mom, oh, I saw this girl, and then, instead of him hiding the fact that he saw a girl and was like watching her for who knows how long, if he would have been like, hey mom, I saw this girl, let's go help them, and she's like, no, and then he would have just like rebelled, oh, I'm leaving home, you can't tell me what to do anymore. I see there's other people. And then he got caught when they got caught the first time.
Yeah, but he met this girl. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't have done the same thing. I've been young before, but honestly, he met her for a day. They stayed up all night. And he was gonna. I'm gonna risk it all.
I
I'm gonna
mean,
risk
he
it
didn't
all.
meet her. He kind of
Kidnapped her.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and then at the end of the movie, it's like the looks and glances, like, we're gonna get together, we're gonna have a family, we're gonna have kids. I'm like, well, how you gonna say how you met? Well, I saw your mom. She was gorgeous, and I knew I had to have her. So, Dad, what'd you do? Like, you kicked a line? You rizzed, as the kids say? No, I kidnapped your mom. I kidnapped your mom. I played some Afro beats on my Sony Walkman, and after that, she didn't want to leave. She could if she wants to, but she just never left. This is
I
illegal.
love the ending. His reaction was so real. I just knew the slow-mo. I was like, his mom is going to walk up in here and drag everybody out of here.
Yo, and that again, the mom stands on business because we're sitting there watching the hips and she's enjoying it. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, this is gonna end. So what I thought was gonna happen was I thought maybe just me, sick, sadistic. I thought a bullet was gonna go through her. I thought, or just her get shot up and then slow motion with the music, and I'm like you know how like Jordan Peele will take a song and he makes it like horror. I thought it was going to change from this happy song to the same words, but now it's darker. And now this, because the cassette player is now warped. And so the sound is sounding horror like. And you're like, this song that was so fun is now, look at what's going on. And I'm like, she's lucky that's what she got. She's lucky that's all she got. I don't know. But we've all seen Sinners, right? Do you think that it's interesting the timing of this movie with Sinners coming out and doing as well as it has with the budget they had? This movie's budget was $8 million. So anything it makes more than $8 million, mind you, it's been out doing some stuff for about a year, but anything more than $8 million is a winner for them once they do put it out. And I haven't heard anybody say anything negative. It's got 100 on Rotten Tomatoes right now. Letterboxd is doing a good job as far as what people are saying. Did you find it interesting that yet another movie, small budget, especially with a focus on people of color and Native Americans working together? Because that's what this is. Like, how I took it was I didn't realize it really until towards the end of it, where the girl was like, "You speak English?" And he was making a joke like, "Yeah, you're just kind of being stereotypical. Like, I know I'm Native American, but like, I speak this." And as he's literally trying to take his last breath, he's sitting there saying like, I'm giving this to my daughter. I'm teaching her the language so that she can continue this language back and forth. And how he like that relationship of them passing their legacies that they had from that old life to this one. I thought that was so interesting for these two to share a common ground pre-Civil War or post-Civil War, honestly, with everything that's happening. I'm like, that was completely intentional in the story and didn't feel forced. It didn't feel woke, as some people would say.
No, I like the aspect of passing down knowledge. I think that was like probably the whole message of the film. Like the aspect, something is gonna go, like passing that knowledge to your kids, knowing that in the future they're gonna have to learn how to survive on their own, which is in this apocalyptic world where they have to learn how to farm, learn how to defend themselves, learn how to basically survive in the world and not get played by nobody, fucking Manny, and just learning your native language from your ancestors and all that. So it was like a lot of focus on like passing down knowledge. And even in the beginning, you see how that group was just walking to the grass field and how skillful everybody was. Even the little girl, it was like, oh man, I was like, damn, she was out there shooting too. They were like, no, you should use a knife. Yeah, so everybody was skillful.
Mm-hmm.
So it the message was there, knowledge, family, So I felt it.
Okay. What about you?
Yeah, I agree too. I liked even like when you said in the beginning, like their skill set, like that their training, them being together, like again, it goes back to family, like passing down that tradition. And I really it was funny when he was like that moment you said he was speaking in his native tongue and she's like, "Oh, you speak English?" It gave like kind of a comedic light, like it's like a dad joke, like you know in a tough moment you're still gonna bring light. I feel like it showed like his character. And yeah.
And I thought it was interesting because I believe the actor who Manny was falling for, she's Spanish. So I just thought like in that household, you had like a very diverse mix that was in there that once again, like I said, it wasn't forced. It's just for me being from Miami, I'm like, I think she's Latin. I think she's Latina. I think that's the vibes I'm getting off. And then when I looked up and
Yeah,
found what her name
maybe.
was, I'm like, okay. All right. So is there any part of the movie where maybe you, I don't want to say didn't want in the movie, just it felt like out of place. It didn't have to be in there necessarily. Because I'll say for me, it was the ending. I would have preferred it to be more on a cliffhanger where we don't know what's going to happen to these characters. Like, I get like a lot of people like redemption or resolve or to close the story, but for this one with the pacing, I felt like I was fine with having question marks afterwards. Like to get to the end and realize they're okay. A part of me was happy, don't get me wrong, at the dinner table. I was like, oh man, for some reason, it was a really good feeling to see that, to see the dad with his spices, and him being super pissed that they came in here with fucking over processed sugar. Like, I thought he was joking when he went to the table, like the world's ending. And he's like, I can't believe you brought this shit in here. You brought this barbecue sauce from this fake restaurant when there's real herbs and spices. I was like, oh shit, he's being real about it. So watching him with the herbs and spices and him doing this thing after John Wick, and then watching the wife walk down, and I'm like, I'm happy, but I'm like, man, it felt like it would have been a moment to be like, man, he fucked this up so bad. He got his mom killed.
No, I'm glad she was fine. Can you
Nah,
imagine him with all
I
them
would have.
kids?
I kind of agree with Ron in that because there's no fucking lesson learned.
Because when the mom was sitting there bleeding out, I was like, you did this shit. You telling me you didn't hear her fighting in the fucking barn? She about to die in the same spot you fucking around in?
They could have cut her leg off. That's a consequence.
They could have when they put that tourniquet.
Yeah.
And that dude still wanted to take advantage, which is pretty wild. So
Yeah,
much going on. You're telling me that's what you're thinking about? That's what you're thinking about? Trying to get some ass? Oh, in there?
Oh, even when he was like, "Oh, it's sweeter," I was like, That was unnecessary. That was unnecessary.
That was nasty.
I was like,
It is sweeter, yeah. So that was nasty. That was so nasty. Because I was like, oh man, she's gonna die. She's gonna die right here. And he was like,
I was scared she was gonna die there, especially once I was kind of sad that they killed the aunt. And they just
I was
like
too, but I thought it
did
was
not
real.
hesitate.
I thought it
It
was
was.
real.
You know what?
Then
The aunt. You know what show you could see her from?
What? Because I've seen her somewhere. What?
From.
Oh, she's in From?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen From. I've heard really good stuff about From. It's on Stars? Or is that AMC?
MGM.
MGM. Okay. There's so many fucking. So many. I like them all.
That's
but
the new one, not another.
I think they're on like the 3rd season, right? Or something like that.
If you have Amazon, you should be able to watch it.
I don't think so. I think I think you have to unlock something. I think we're all just trying to unlock different streaming services. It's like, don't you have?
I thought I had them all, and I was like, wait, now MGM.
You don't. I'm
what
like,
else?
man, I got Hulu
Showtime.
and I got Disney and I got.
I think there's a bundle somewhere with it.
I don't. It's almost that
unpopular. Cable.
Thing.
It used to be called cable back in the day.
Now it's not. Now it's called. It's called whatever this is, and I'm here for the ride. I'm here for the ride. Man, I really think that's it. I mean, I think we're not diving in too deep, but there was some stuff that grabbed our attention that we want to talk about. Did we forget anything? Did anyone miss anything?
The villains.
Oh, okay, the
Oh my
villains.
god. They
So
could have been smarter. That's all.
I think they introduced them a smart way, but I remember Run, you were saying like there was no focal point, like a focal bad person to focus on. You know,
Hmm.
I know they generalize them as cannibal in a whole.
Hmm.
You know, even they showed you them storing the meat and salt, which is very like, yo, these people are cannibal
But
for
they're
real.
smart though, because
Yeah,
that's how you would do it.
but
I don't know.
like they didn't like they show you that one like that one guy when in the warehouse scene when the daughter, which is what the fuck was that, she had a Manny moment where she put the gun down and
Oh
Oh
my
yeah.
gosh, I was like, oh my gosh, like this house,
which is also
you
Manny's
have the
fault too
room.
again.
Yes, yes. And you're sitting there and you put the gun down, you're in the window doing this shit. And I'm like, he told like you're if I'm saying to myself, if I'm the big sister, big brother, if I die, my little sister has to deal with these people. So it's like I'm gonna head back to that room and lock down that room. And if that's the end of it, I'm here with her. She's not gonna be alone. Versus, oh, I got clipped in the front door. I thought I could put this dresser over here. I thought I could have closed the door. So yeah, that was upsetting. But to go back with the villains, yeah, you're telling me the head villain. They showed us the head villain, right? That threw me off guard. They showed me. I'm telling you, this movie has me on fucking edge
My
because I was like,
bad.
I'm going to your house right now. I got you. I got you. I was gonna ride or die for her. I was gonna ride or die for her. I was gonna ride or die. Okay, okay.
Run.
She just came from her walk.
Shoot,
Just closing the blinds.
but I was looking at like the head person that they added for this villain. He dies in such a non-villain way. Like think about the two bad guys. If you think about two, if not three main bad guys, two of them die in the same room within what 15 minutes of each other. Nothing special, just to move the plot. Like, how do we get the lieutenant guy in here? Oh, we'll do this. He just wants to, and that's what he's gonna do. And then she gets the gun. Then what happens? Oh, the other guy walks through. There we go. We took care of the villains. Now they just got to get back to the house.
But my thing is like, I felt like there was more people because when they're all locked up before, like you hear them like kind of cutting up the bodies in the back. So you think there's people. Well, I guess Manny kind of came in at the same time, and I guess he probably just killed everybody. We don't know.
Yeah,
We
we
didn't
could.
hear it. We can just
And I think
assume.
Lingo says all the time, like, if you have to ask these questions, then it wasn't done well enough. Like the fact that we're sitting here saying, what's their organization set up? Like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, there's a video game called The Division, and
Mm.
they have a group called the Outcasts. And the Outcasts, they shave all their hair. It's like they're a cult, and they believe that fire is cleansing. And it's close to cannibalism. It's close to that deranged whatever. And they'll run at you and take bullets and die and blow themselves. They do a bunch of stuff. But there is in the storyline that is the Division, Tom Clancy's Division, there is an understanding of who the boss is and what's the structure. So even as you're playing the video game, even as you're reading the book, you understand what that is. And so you know that you might have killed the lieutenant, but there's a really big threat that does XYZ. And we just don't know what that threat is. And the only way I can look at it without making the movie a bad movie review is, was that more important in the story they were telling me? And it wasn't.
No, yeah, it wasn't. It was just more like something to nitpick to just be like, oh, I mean, if we don't talk about it, then it's like, it still could have been done a little better.
It could.
Mhm.
But I mean, it didn't take away from the movie, like you said. The movie, I feel like the message was different.
Mhm.
And it's more about the family as opposed to the threat.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like maybe like just having like one main, or even having that old guy, the one he had his little speech in the room,
Mm-hmm.
the one that got shot up. Even if he had more of like, even if he had said something like, or if we saw him, when Manny was thinking he was talking to Augusta,
Mm-hmm.
but there was like nobody there really, and like
Mm-hmm.
nobody talked.
Right.
Even if the old man said something, or if we've got like a little cutscene of the old man playing with or messing around with it,
Mm-hmm.
seeing that he's like the head honcho, like he's the one orchestrating it, just kind of gave, like you said, somebody a little bit more weight than everybody else. They all seemed equals,
Mm-hmm.
like a gang of like cannibals versus like somebody like um a why they're doing this, and somebody having that role that the mom had. There's usually like an equal role,
Mm-hmm.
equal villain to your
Yes.
protagonist, but I don't feel like we had that. It was just
Yeah.
the group was just, it was
You're right.
spread out through the people.
That was a good way to think about it, because now I'm thinking like, yeah, they made that whole radio thing to be so significant. And I feel like what they could have done is they could have sat there, like you said before, they would be like, hey, Augusta, are you there? And you hear something, but it's not her. And then later on, while in the movie, he says it again. And now you connect and realize, oh, crap, that was him on the radio. He's been doing this. That would have worked. Or if it wasn't this guy, it was another woman. And she's just like the mom. She's like, I stand on business for what I believe in. And you may not agree with it, but I stand on business. And you're watching these two. And the thing is,
I was kind of hoping Augusta was like kind of playing her the whole time, and then she was actually the leader, and then she sent the niece. I thought it was gonna be that, but then it was just like these guys. I feel like it took away from that, and then again, it's not that it's bad. It could, like, I feel like if it was played out that way, that movie would have been five across the
think
board.
about how wild that is. Like, she's
That
on
would
the
have been
floor, she's
wild.
talking, she doesn't have a leg. She doesn't
Especially
have
that
a
she
leg.
has that connection to her too. Like, it would have been such a heavy betrayal. And then it's like, why did you do this? It's like, because we didn't
You
have
got to
food.
survive. Yes.
You and then at that point, it would have mattered so much. Like, damn, if the mom would have helped,
yes,
shared all the food,
that
they wouldn't
my
have been.
thing. I'm telling you, that would have been
That would have been. That's what I'm
wild.
saying.
Think about it. She would have been on the floor. She's sitting there crying, and they go to like cut her throat, but they don't. They cut off the ropes. They lift her up, and then she hobbles. She doesn't have that leg, and she's
she cut
like,
off her leg.
yeah, and she's like, you'll never know unless you have to eat your own leg. Like, you don't understand what I had to do to get where I had to get. And she's the head boss, and she's like, I'm sorry, but this is what it is. Let's go. And then she goes. The guy comes and dies the same way. The other guy dies the same way. And then she's the one at the barn or something. And that's that last kill off to be like, hey, I got to bring it close. But what it felt like now is I felt like there's a big boss somewhere, a cannibal boss. He's going to show up in that room and was like, what did Eric and Greg do? What the fuck happened in here? And they're nobodies. But we'll never know who that big boss is. They're just two people that's not going to show up to work tomorrow. Someone's gonna eat them. That's the sad thing about, like, all those people are just gonna get eaten. No, they don't. Hey, listen, just like a parent would say, you're gonna eat that. Don't you let that spoil. You better eat every part of it. They're gonna eat it. So I think that's it. I mean, I hate to end on the note of eating people. But unless y'all got something else, that this is rough. We're about to end it on eating people.
No, I think we touched on everything.
What? Oh my gosh, she's gonna get a shutdown.
I mean, you talked about Sinners, right? Did you get to talk about that?
We did talk about it. It was funny though, because that song might get me to fuck up and go outside in Sinners. Music, good music. I could see me sitting there. Whoa, whoa,
you would have let them
whoa,
in.
whoa, whoa, whoa. No, I wouldn't have let them in. I'd have been dancing with my headphones on, and I've been outside, and I would have saw Remy. I'd have been like, oh, I done fucked up. and that's it. Gone. Yeah, I would have been doing, and then the part of the movie where everybody's doing the dance step and everyone's looking, I would have been really enjoying it. You're like, oh, you know how much he loves music. He just like, ah, I'm just, yeah. So,
They would have got you.
I'd have been whatever my daughter does. I don't know where she got that from. She does that. She's like, I don't know what she's fucking, yeah, she's doing that. I'm like, it's some song that's in another language. I don't know, man. Being a parent is hard. It's hard. Listen, at the end of the day, what's easy is hitting the subscribe button, following us, liking us, put in the comments, what do you want us to talk about next? You could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to be here with us. Until next time, kalika out.